Hey guys, welcome for another video tutorial, and in this case it's we about CLMM, which is Concentrated Liquidity Market Maker. This is a newer form of liquidity pools which creates insane possibilities to earn much more money, to create and manage your liquidity and assets in a better way. By the way, if you're not doing it yet, just like and subscribe the video, this channel, and be sure to join our Discord. The link will be in the description below. So what you will learn today from this presentation will be at first CLMM, it's a difficult abbreviation, Concentrated Liquidity Market Maker. So we will see what is the difference between a traditional liquidity pool and the CLMM, how to use the ranges and how they work, the different way of positions, taking the positions, setting them up, and the effect what it will be, and several actions which are like how to handle it. You can open a position, you increase and decrease it, and the full decrease will be the withdraw. And we have rebalancing, which is a special item. So let's say we'll go to the next slide. Look at my beautiful slides here. All right, key differences. In a traditional liquidity pool, you deposit the same relative amount of two tokens to keep the price balance, which we saw in the previous lesson. Like if SOL is $100 and you want to add one SOL to the liquidity pool, you also have to add $100, or so you're adding actually always $200 in value. Um, so if you want to add $100, you should add only a half of a SOL and $50, making 100 in total. At CLM, this is totally not the case. You only deposit the tokens, which are relative between the current market price and your set range. We will soon see this in the next slide. It will make more sense soon. In a traditional liquidity pool, you are always making fees, which are obviously less because you're covering an 0 to infinite price range. So everywhere, whatever the token does, you will earn your small part of the total liquidity pool trading fees and making you some money everywhere, but you're in permanent loss. So the loss of if the value of the asset depreciates will be bigger, and your trading fees should outperform the long-term impermanent loss, which is mostly only possible with the blue chip tokens like BTC or something. Well, um, then for the CLMM, you are only making fees when the price is in your set range. So you're setting a price range and you're only making fees when the price is there. But the amount of fees will be much higher. So then the next thing is that you're always leveraging price action with a traditional liquidity pool, meaning when you are putting as the example, so USDC, if you would put one SOL and $100 in your liquidity pool, if SOL goes down, also your liquidity pool value goes down one on one. And CLMM, that is not fully true, but partly, because within your range, your assets convert from full Solana to full USDC, and it's moving in between this and converting in between. I will show you this soon. CLM pool is making most trading fees when you want the price action as long as possible in your set range. So you're setting a price range as set, and when the price keeps being moving in these ranges, you will see that this will constantly make you much more trading fees and getting rewarded and making money without even having a price difference on your own assets. For a takeaway, the smaller your range, the higher fees you will get. Simple explanation, because your liquidity is more concentrated. So if you are having your liquidity only in a price range from $1 to $2, it will be very, very high in liquidity for you, making much more fees. But if you are spreading it longer, then obviously your capital is more spread out, so your fees are also more spread out. Okay, I hope so far so good. If not, you will understand in the probably in the next slide. Well, here it comes. Now we are going to be difficult. I see I took the example of ETH. Well, I was talking about Solana, but it doesn't matter. This story goes for everything. But this is not a normal way of showing a graph, because now I have set it the price not on the vertical timeline but on the horizontal timeline, and the time on the vertical. So the price would do this in time, right? Or whatever it does, but it's more easy to see it in an inverted way. So imagine the ETH price in a normal traditional way is set it from 0 to infinity, and you're everywhere where the price is, like, it doesn't matter, you will always get your uh, trading fees. But in a CLMM, you are not. Imagine you are setting this price range from 1500 to 2500. So now, if the price is trading here, you are not getting fees. But from here, you will earn fees. You will earn fees. The price goes down below 1500. You will not get any fees. It goes back above 1500. You are getting fees. You are getting fees. You are getting fees until 2500. You will not get any fees until possibly it's returning back in your range. And if the price then goes full up, you will never see your trading fees again, so then you will have to take some action. So what we see is that this area, oh, I did it pretty nice. Only if the price moves between this area, you are making fees. Sorry for this. Um, yeah, so this is the most important part. Like, you're defining an area where the price moves, and within that range, you are making fees. Without a range, you are not. And to be fully complete, if, let me draw this quickly. If we are looking at this and the price goes that way, then we have only ETH, only ETH on this side. And if the price is moving this way, guess what? You only have what will be like this. Let's say USDC. So this means, for example, if the price is at 1300, like the price is here, and you will only have, like, for example, one ETH, to be just simple, you can put it into a liquidity pool here, and it starts making fees there, and it's making fees, but also slowly converting to USDC. And when you are here, you only have USDC left. So this also goes as a take profit situation in this scenario, which I'm giving you. But I wanted to explain to you that here you're only exposed on ETH. Here you have both a little bit ETH, or sorry, a little bit USDC, a lot of ETH, half much USDC, low ETH, and here no ETH and only USDC. So this is actually what is happening in an CLMM. Now, what will be, for example, one of the risks, just I just explained. Imagine that you are entering it in the middle, so you are dropping 50% ETH, 50% USDC, and the price goes here, and you close it. Then your average TP is around there-ish. Though if you just would not have it in the liquidity pool, but just hold it, then you would have a little bit more. Though in this area you could have made some trading fees, which compensate this loss. But then again, as said in the start, it all depends on how long your range is valid, like how long is the price trading within it. And your trading fees are, um, for this period, for example, 2% a day, which is pretty much awesome. But for a small range, this could be like 4%. But it's also faster going out of your range. So there is a decent game. Most people like to play with support and resistance values to determine these ranges. All right. For now, if you're not getting this yet, please go to our Discord, check it out, ask people what we mean here, or just pause the video, go back and watch it again, because the next slide will be like on next level difficulty, and I need you to full focus on this. All right. And if you didn't already, just press like on this video. We love it. All right. So this about ranges. I hope it's all cool. So now we're going to expert level positioning. Here we go. I need your full focus for this. These are the different positions and their effect. This red dot I've created here, there in this line, is constantly the current price, which is important to decide on our position. What is standard advised when you're dropping an CLM, then the standard suggests to start in the middle and do like -2%, +2% price movement. Can also show you, like on Orca trade, for example, it's a Solana thing. You have pools here. You can see the Sol USDC, and if you click add here and you say, this is the full, like if I'm wanting to add, you will see again, with one Sol, I need to add $104 because this is the traditional pool, but I also have the custom pool, which, like as you see here, it's a 3% price range, which you see drawn here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Um, which is from 102.13 to 107.5. And you also see here the line of people which are providing the most liquidity, in which zones that is, etc. You see the lines here going up. If you would do this like this, you might probably want to take about the bottom of this, and for example, just trying to somewhere here. This is a very big range, by the way, taking it here like this, but probably this would make some sense to get some long-term activity, like this could possibly hold the trading for hours, days, maybe even weeks, this area, which sometimes it might go out, but it flips in again. So just do not instantly take actions for that, but just wait it out and see what the market does. Yeah. So here we can see it, and also a radium, which is known. We have also here liquidity, like here deposit Sol USDC. You can create your own price ranges here. Um, so for that, they standard advise it to do it 50-50. That means that your uh, when the spread changes, the price to stay aligned, and it will convert to the lowest value asset with the standard. So if the price going up, you will only have USDC left. When the price is going down, you will only have SOL left. Well, this is the standard advised thing by Orca, by Radium, by almost any DEX. But we not normally work with that setup. I'd like to introduce you to the following four setups, which are more interesting, and you have to comprehend your head about this because this one is like the least efficient way to enter a CLM position. So let me explain this. If you have this position like this, like the SOL price is here in your range, that means that you're only using a 10% USDC, because if it's going down, it's going to be the lowest value, and if SOL goes up, then it converts to USDC. So you're entering almost with 90% um, here, and 90% SOL, which is sold when the price goes up. So this setup is kind of bullish, and as you see, because the current price is in range here, you will start earning like from a very second you create a position. And when the price moves up, it will gradually convert your SOL to USDC, and you have made profit from the price appreciation, and you have made profit from the trading fees. So this is also the setup I showed you here. And by the way, I will again do this a little bit also to show you the difference between smaller and bigger. Let's see, if you have an area like this, the price is low, as you see here. So I'm adding, if I would add one SOL, I only add $35 because this small area is $35 and this is $104 in SOL. If I want to add only SOL or almost only, then I'm even going to get closer under the price. You see, I'm adding in $100 in SOL and only $8 in USDC. If we going to full do this the other way, you will see that I'm adding still one SOL because this is what I gave in, right? But I have to add $600 of USDC to buy more SOL when the price would go down. As you would see, this would also yield me about 2.3% per day. And the wider I go, as you see, it yields me 1.5% a day, which is kind of insanely much. And this is 1.1. If you're going to actively play with it, maybe you think it is needed or you want it. I wouldn't advise it to do actually, because you have to keep monitoring very closely and doing pretty massive calculations about impermanent loss and doing the right change. But if you do like a -2 +2%, you would almost make like 6% per day on yield. But if you, as you see here, it is out of range there, it's out of range there, it's out of range there. So you're only making in this last, what like 16, 17, 18 hours, you are only making half of the hours any trading fees. So let's go back here. You have seen now that you are gradually selling your tokens. We get that, right? And then we also have the deposit way that you're almost only doing a little bit of deposit there and almost only depositing stuff here. Obviously, this also can be just the other way around, which is actually a bearish setup. So if the SOL price would go down further, you are buying SOL cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So your average buy-in will be there instead of this current price. And while the price is doing the moves in this range, you are earning fees until you're here fully sol exposed, full sol, and here full USDC, right? Actually, the same as here, but now you're profiting from a lower movement to get more tokens, and here you're like bullish, and here you're bearish, which is okay. Um, then the third technique, which is actually out of the money or out of the range. So you're setting your range completely above the current price. This will also mean that you are only adding USDC, and in this case only adding Sol for this part. I will show you guys, because here we could see what we are adding, right? So if we are adding this actually from here, let's make it a more explicit. You can now see the lines moving here, that my range actually above the price from 108 to 113. You see that here, but the actual price is 104.5. This means I'm adding one sol and 0 USDC. I cannot even type it, as you can see. If we would do this the other way, you will see that I am only adding USDC. Look, I cannot add any sol, and I can only add some USDC. This is maybe some much, but all right. This will give you the other way, and if I pull it a little bit above the price, then suddenly with $2,000 I got to add 1.6, so $168 of SOL. So you can work with this system to place it there, and you can obviously, if you think like, all right, I have SOL, I'm going to place this in an area which is 226 and starting at, let's say, even 180, until the price doesn't reach this. Your soul is just being your soul. You're hodling it. There's nothing happening with your money. And only if it's entering your position here, it will start creating fees, and it will start to convert to USDC until it reaches this. But for example, if you had one sol, one sol, and the price goes here, you make zero point 0.1 sol on trading fees, for example, and the price goes down, you make another 0.1 sol. The price back here, you have your 1 sol, but you have earned 0.2 sol and you in trading fees. So in the end, when the price bounces in and out, you're making 1 sol to 1.2 sol and still have all your sol here, because nothing happened. It went in and it went out again, and you only made 20% on the trading fees because it took a few days to bounce in and bounce out again. So easy money, guys. All right, that makes sense, right? This also goes for the full bearish setup. Let me also say this, like we all spoke of this, you have to wait for the price to get in range, and you're only pulling in this case, your USDC, or sorry, your SOL, and not any USDC. And for the other way, it's obviously completely the other way around. And this means that the price is currently working full above your range. So, for example, you make it like this. You're only having SOL here. Um, you're working totally below the price, and you can only add USDC because you're only want to buy more SOL when it's going here, and maybe it's going in and out again, and you're just making more USDC while the price moved over it and bounced back again. So yeah, why not make some money there? Now, let's say that what I said here about bullish and bearish setups, this is only, and this is like it's noted here, because this is only for a simple use case. If you are using other setups like a real bear setup or a delta neutral setup, which we are managing in our Discord primarily, because it's a way of us using these systems without being exposed to any price action, but just full making on fees, almost no price exposure. We will actually be turning this around because it will make another structure, and I will make more videos about that later. But first, I need you to understand this, what we are doing. So are the basics of the CLMM, just a normal setup, get into position and see what the effects are. So then for the last actions, what we can do for this actions, let's say we talk about opening a position. That means that you're done by adding the same relative amounts needed in relation to your range setup, which we also showed there and which is also on Radium and like also on or VFET as an aggregator. You have also here pools, and you are like creating ranges here for every time the same purpose. Um, if you have your position open, you can actually just increase it. So if your position is like here, let's say like this, you have a little bit of Sol and much USDC because your primary bear is here. Um, you can actually add money, more money to your position, but that should be another same relative position as this towards the price. So if the price is still here where it's now, this will be like 20% and this will be 80%. If the price goes down to here, you need to add about 50% there and 50% there. Luckily, the tools will help you to tell you what is the maximum amount of possible deposit. So you do not have to do all the calculations apart, but you will, in some cases, will have to swap some to increase your position to have the right amounts. There are some aggregators like, for example, the VFAT, which I'm a great fan of, and they have, if you have opened a position, I don't have that one now here as an example, but if you have an open position, you have a button increase, and you can just choose which token you are sending, like you're sending whatever you are doing, and it will auto convert it to the right position amounts. Um, this is for the increase, but also relative same amounts. Then the decrease, then that means that you will smallen or even fully close your position, and you will get your funds back, even if that are Sol or USDC or whatever the price point was in your raise at that point. And again, you will receive the same relative amounts of assets back into your wallet. Then the last phenomenal thing we have in here for now to make it not more difficult than it already is rebalancing. Rebalancing is one of the most needed actions because if the price moves out of your range, like it can go back in, it can go back out. But if you think like, all right, this is not making a chance, I need to replace my current position, you can obviously go withdrawing and then open a new position, etc. But some tools, and again, like VFAT, have the functionality to actually combine it. So in your position, you can actually just say move to a new range position, and it will do anything for you. So it will remove it from your current position. It will recalculate what is the optimal amount of token 1 and amount of token 2, like amount of Sol USDC needed for the position. Then it will swap it to the amount which is needed, and then re-entering also the pool, which is like only done in one click. And this is like the way which is very easy because this is kind of effortful to do this all. It will cost you like at least 5 minutes to execute this. And if you're doing this like 2, 3 times a day, you will get completely crazy to do all these stuff again and again. So a tool like VFAT, which is rebalancing for you, uh, is perfect. So for this being said, I hope you guys understand this. If not, you have two possibilities, or pause this video and rewind it, check it back because it is difficult. I know it's expert level crypto. The other thing you can do is go to our Discord. The link will be in the description below, and find out and chat. There are many guys on the Discord which are experienced in this, and we know what we're doing, and we can help you answering your questions or talking about the setups possible, or even if you like so, we can even help you with your own setups. So for now, don't forget, if you didn't do it yet, like this video and subscribe to our channel. And for now, I would say take care and be careful with your positions. Bye.